Hey all. Um, this right here is probably my hair's most natural state. Um, and honestly, it kind of looks frizzy to me. Yeah, I thought I'd make a video talking about frizzy hair because everyone hates frizzy hair, right? I spent a lot of time thinking about it this past summer, going into this past summer. And I ultimately found that there were three things that led to me having frizzy hair, three root causes, and if I addressed each of those three things, then no more frizzy hair. So I'm going to list them here, and the first one I'm going to talk about is lack of sebum. If your sebum production is off whack, if it's unevenly distributed through your hair, then that's going to cause problems. And I used shampoo growing up, so I was an overproducer of sebum before I went low poo. So at first I would wash my hair with oatmeal and then put oil on my ends. And I always found that my ends would end up frizzy and undefined, and I'd have no definition at all on my roots. It'd just be flat. And that was because I had too much sebum on my roots and not enough on my ends. So you want to be able to even out your sebum production and balance it out, and so that it's not, your scalp doesn't freak out and overproduce, and then you have to deal with it. Like, you don't want to be in a vicious cycle. You want your sebum production to be even and predictable and not flying off the charts, which is what often happens with people with straighter hair. Or wavy hair. It's really easy to wash it too much and then to produce too much sebum. If you're an underproducer, I don't know as much about what you go through. Sorry. The second issue I found was lack of moisture, of water. If your hair is dehydrated, this is what leads to frizzy hair in the summer for a lot of people. When it's hot and humid, your hair cuticles, they open up, and so they're more able to accept incoming water. And if they don't have enough water, they're going to get as much of it from the atmosphere as they can. And so what happens is that your hair flies out toward all the air around it, because there's a lot of water in the air in the summer, especially in Massachusetts, where I live. So that's why you have a lot of people with hair flying out to everywhere. It's not because it's lacking oil or conditioner, it's because it's dehydrated. Washing it with water more often really helps. So start with wash it in hot water and then finish with cold water, because the cold water closes the cuticle. And if your hair is dehydrated, it needs more water. Pretty simple. And the third thing that I found really helped was dead ends. I found that even after evening out my sebum production with the brushing videos I made and pulling the oil from my scalp down and going from low poo to like no poo, after that I still had areas of frizz in places, and so I found that if I pulled out those specific areas with frizz and looked at the ends, it was full of split ends. So I bought a pair of hair scissors and cut those dead ends off, and then the frizz kind of just disappeared. So if you're doing things that will damage your hair, if you use way too many products, if you're a product junkie, if you use a lot of heat, if you do really tight hairstyles that pulls out your roots really a lot, stuff like that is going to damage your hair, especially if your sebum production is not even, you're lacking water. Those problems are going to reduce the elasticity of your hair, so it's not going to be able to take that manipulation, and so you're going to get split ends, and that's going to give you frizzy hair. And so if you want to keep doing those things, then you're probably just going to have to go to the salon or get your hair cut so you don't get those split ends. But if you go water only and you don't do all those things, then you're not going to need to get a haircut because you're not damaging your hair at all. Like if I go to sleep with this silk beanie so that the cotton doesn't cause friction at night on my hair, damaging it, so that keeps it soft and prevents it from being damaged. So there are really two strategies here. You can not do things to your hair that will damage it, so you don't need to go get haircuts at all. That this is the water-only washing method. Or you can find the right products and find the right scheduling for these things so that you can manage the damage you cause, which is not my preferred method. So if you want to find out more about that, find the people out there that do stuff like that. But yeah, so the main causes of frizz are unbalanced sebum, lack of water, dehydrated hair, and dead ends. And if I control for those three things, then I don't have frizzy hair. So, hope that helps. And let me know if you have any questions or anything down below. I'll see if I can answer them, because I'm obsessed with hair, because why wouldn't I be?